Hello, I'm Edward Foster, artist, and I have my drawing Towards Enlightenment with me today, and I'm going to talk about how this drawing came about. So, I also want to talk about pilgrimage, inner and outer pilgrimage. By physically setting out on a pilgrimage towards a sacred destination, be it guided by faith, love, desire, means that you also travel in your emotions too. So it is an inner pilgrimage as well as an outer pilgrimage. The two go together. Sometimes you can purposefully set out on this pilgrimage. Other times it is only after you have actually set off that you realise you are on a pilgrimage. And the latter happened to me a few years ago, and because of that I produced this artwork. So let me tell you about the story of that. I was walking, as I often do, and I saw in a field two deer, a male and a female deer. And they were very beautiful. They were just contentedly feeding and just walking, and then suddenly they leapt into this wood. Now I'd never been in this wood, and I don't think there was any footpath into this wood. So I resolved then and there, I'm following the deer. I have to go into that wood. There was an impulse in me which told me to go into the wood, and I responded to that impulse and I went with it. So eventually I found a way into the wood, climbing various fences, etc. And I started to search for the deer. And I did see them from a distance, and they ran off. So they ran off into the woodland. There was no hope of me finding them. But I found myself in this beautiful woodland which had a real quietness about it and a presence about it, and I became aware of the wood and aware of myself too. And then as I walked in the wood there was a stream, but it wasn't really running, there was hardly any water in it. So I thought, I'll cross this stream, why not? So I took a few steps onto it, and then suddenly, boom, I disappeared almost. I sank up to my waist because the stream had silted up, and it was like quicksand, and I was stuck, absolutely stuck. So I had to physically pull myself out of here, use my hands to really pull myself out. And as I did this, put all my effort into just getting out of this silt, I was gradually coming out, and I looked up and I pulled myself out, and I was confronted with a sheep's skull, and the sheep's skull was still connected to the rotting body of the sheep. So this was quite something. Obviously I couldn't just jump out and run away because I was still semi-stuck, so I had to look at the situation and gradually ease myself out of the stream, which is what I did. So it wasn't a very pleasant thing to do, but I didn't regard it as a bad experience or a terrible experience. Quite the opposite. It made me sit and think. It made me consider and contemplate that sometimes if you go off the usual pathway because of feeling and a pilgrimage that you suddenly feel that you have to take, you learn a lot through experiences that you wouldn't necessarily choose. But for me it was a really, really deep experience. And as I sat on the bank covered in mud, I actually laughed. I actually found it to be quite a joyful experience. I could let go of things, and I realised that I couldn't control everything, but that wouldn't stop me living fully. So the next day I went on another pilgrimage, and I went to a Buddhist monastery in the Lake District, and as I came to the gateway of the monastery, I saw that a male and female deer were on this gate. And in Buddhism, they symbolise the final stages of the spiritual path to enlightenment. So was this coincidence? Well, what is coincidence? So I decided to produce some artwork from my experience, and I've called it Towards Enlightenment. So the name from the Buddhist monastery of the deer on the path to enlightenment helped me with the title for this drawing. So let's have a little a look at the drawing now. It's drawn in graphite pencil, and as you can see here, we've got the male and the female deer, and they lead you into this woodland. So we've got depth in here, so the trees go in, and we get this figure in the centre that's part human, part deer. So this symbolises the path to enlightenment, or rather the pilgrimage, and also this figure is myself, human, and nature too. It's a discovery of myself. You have to go on pilgrimages to discover yourself. And then you can see the trees lead up into the top of the drawing, where the deer is prominent and the human is prominent too. So this landscape leads into a mindscape. As we travel in nature, we are travelling within ourselves as well. Remember that. The landscape is outer and inner. We respond to the landscape from within, and the landscape responds to us from without. The two connect and go together. So, how can you yourself do this? Well, steps you can do. Simple steps. Go on a pilgrimage somewhere. It doesn't have to be far, but just go. Don't procrastinate. Don't say you'll go, but not actually go. This is really important, this. Thinking about doing something is wonderful, but you have to put it into action as well. Go as soon as you can. Go, or else it'll disappear, the feeling that you get. Just go. Even if it's walking to a tree in your garden, just do it. That could be a profound pilgrimage too. It doesn't have to be a long, long way away. So soak in, when you do your pilgrimage, soak in the profoundness of it. How profound does it feel to you? How deep and emotional does it feel to you? Let signs and experiences come to you too. So if something happens, try and understand what it might be. So be aware of these experiences. Understand these experiences. And also be aware of yourself. Fully aware of yourself. So when you come back from the pilgrimage, as soon as you come back, draw and write down some of the things that have happened. Scribble some quick drawings and a few notes, a few words, just to get down so you can remember what happened, some profound experiences. And as you write or draw, you realise what has happened as well. Then contemplate these experiences. Take time to think about it. Go and sit down somewhere and just think. And then produce some artwork, music, poetry, whatever form it takes. Produce some yourself and take time over this. Enjoy the experience, and as you do this, draw this, or write words, or music, whatever it be, really learn from doing it too. Because there's knowledge there for you. It will be telling you something. Your creativity about the experience will be letting you know some deep, profound truths. Well, thank you so much for watching this. If you want to see more videos that I've done, please check out my YouTube channel, and also please consider subscribing too, because I regularly update videos about my artwork and experiences. So, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.